Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all those who have joined from different part of the world. So I'm here with a very specific topic, vulnerability intelligence from dark web. I don't think dark web is something what is unknown to people or guys who are working in red team, because this is something we come across every now and then, and this term has been getting a lot of popularity in last few years. I don't believe that we need an introduction. I mean, I don't believe that it requires much explanation, because most of you would be really using dark web for browsing, accessing hackers, forum, and all these type of activities. I'm Nandakishore Harikumar. I'm the CEO and founder of a cybersecurity startup based out of Cochin in India. I'm also associated with another cybersecurity startup called SecLabs and System, which is based out of Noida. In Technisant, what exactly we do, we use keywords. We go deeper into this kind of platforms like dark web and deep web. Mine data from there. There are two kinds of data what we mine. One, any data related to our client based on keywords. Secondly, most of the clients or customers whom we deal with need some kind of intelligence from them. So you know that dark web is some space where we could gather a lot of intelligence. Even for threat intelligence gathering, this is considered as one of the main sources, just because a lot of activities are happening there. So what I'm trying to share in this entire presentation is my experience or my findings in last few years, which has helped us to really mitigate a lot of digital risk, and which has been used by a lot of cybersecurity teams across the globe, with those teams with whom we regularly deal with. So similarly, this is some kind of a source that comes free of cost. To be more specific, open source intelligence data gathering is one of the main idea behind such kind of massive intelligence gathering. See, this is something that every day we come across news that network access has been sold to others in dark web. A lot of data has been flooded with offers to purchase corporate network service. Even the Zoom, a few months before, zero-day vulnerabilities of Zoom app has been kept for sale in dark web, and hackers claim to get access from those kind of areas. And there are specific cybercrime stores which are really used and which are really or actively engaged for these kind of activities. So a research that happened in 2017, that is very, I mean, like, to be more specific, that is something that struck me a lot. This was done by the National Vulnerability Database Research Center in US. They identified almost 12,000 vulnerabilities in a span of 1 year. Most of them are CVE vulnerabilities. So from there, they assessed that almost 700 vulnerabilities, which before being disclosed on open web, these were kept for sale in dark web platforms. And these were from 91 unique threat actors. So this was very much of surprise to me. Rather than identifying some kind of data, or rather than identifying some kind of credentials from dark web, because most of our customers or dark web monitoring services are usually used for identifying a data exposure or a credential exposure that would have been happening in dark web, or some kind of files that have been leaked in dark web platform, or in most cases, VAPs in an organization, to be more specific, the executives in an organization, CXOs, they always fear about their names getting exposed a lot in dark web platform. So this is something that caught my attention a lot, because that is some area that is normally ignored by most of the conventional methods in threat management. So this is something that what I've been researching since last few years. It's not just about identifying some dark web post where some data comes about a specific brand, but more than that, what are the vulnerabilities that get posted regularly? And more specifically for this activity, I won't say it's just dark web. There are hackers forum, which I will be mentioning in this entire presentation, because it's not just dark web alone. There are open webs. It has become, I mean, I cannot say that dark web is one area that's the area where this kind of a commercialization is happening. But more specifically, there are active areas in our normal open web, like the Russian hackers forums. Maybe since it's more specific with the red team, maybe I would say that this is something that can be used for identifying a new attack vectors, because every now and then some kind of a new attack vector or some kind of a new threat keep on popping up in these kind of forums, dark web as well as these hackers forums. Apart from that, you can identify new tools like a toolkit that can really exploit a POC machine or like a ATM. So similarly, it's purely based on industries. Like let's say someone is working in the banking industry, someone is a part of a red team which is actively working with the banking industry. They have a lot of data that keep on passing around these kind of platforms. And every now and then these forums are very active. Every time we can see at least 600 or 700 people online in these forums actively trading. And this is has become some kind of a major area where this kind of threat actors really go and do a lot of investment too. This is somewhere you can identify a lot of zero-day vulnerabilities, because rather than exploiting the vulnerabilities, the recent trend is that we have been seeing a lot of zero-day vulnerabilities are being sold regularly. Many other kind of vulnerabilities that can be exploited. It can be some a CMS takeover or a CRM takeover, or even SAP instances getting regularly attacked. So this is something that is the third thing what you could really identify. And threat actors. So this is very much important, because we need to really identify who the threat actor is, what are his motive, and this becomes a case study whether this is a nation-sponsored threat actor or there are specific threat actors who regularly target financial industry. So these threat actors are very much active. If you look back the news in the last 6 months, we have seen a lot of data breach, even targeting Indian brands, even ransomware has been floating. So all these threat actors are really active in this kind of forums, where they initially try to sell this data. For example, Embear Market is one of such a famous, dark web portal which was recently shut down. So there was an threat actor called Shiny Hunters. He has been regularly selling data, and surprisingly, most of his data which he trades were from the new data breach, where most of the security researchers had no access to these kind of data, and most of the other vendors in these kind of areas or threat actors in these areas never had this kind of access to so specific data. So this data breach is kept for sale by Shiny Hunters, include a data breach affecting an academy. Similarly, many even Indian brands were really affected by his those specific data. So there are regular takers in this forum. So to be more specific, this slide can be for someone who's starting his cybersecurity journey. Basically, this entire presentation is prepared for someone who can start researching on these platforms to really get more idea about these kind of activities that happens in those spaces. So organized crime. So this is one specific areas where, like, let's say a hacker as a service or a hitman as a service. So this is some kind of areas targeting individuals as well as organizations. Like, let's say there is hackers as a service. So when a new exploit or something gets popped up, see, hackers come on these platforms, just publish details about any kind of exploits that can be sold to third party, or this can be used for exploiting some organization. Second one, security researchers use these kind of platforms to really identify the deep pitfalls and the vulnerabilities, and to understand what exactly is happening in deep web and dark web. To be more specific about the vulnerabilities that are not yet to be disclosed in public platform. So mid parties, a lot of mid parties are there who wants to buy this in the first end and sell it to third parties on a higher price. Exploit developers, those who really find it very hard to develop an exploit, so they can actually buy it as a service. The entire implementation will be taken care by these threat actors there, and also they can use it for they can really customize this and use it. The fifth one, state-sponsored. Every government, the hackers who work for governments, of course, they have a clear idea about these kind of platforms, because they regularly buy a lot of exploits and vulnerabilities from these kind of platforms. And the third one, I've been showing a small Quora post just because of the reason that Journalists are the sixth kind of people, which I have not mentioned, who are actively searching these kind of platforms, because there is a category. I mean, in India, it's comparatively lesser, but across the globe, there is a new category called cybersecurity journalists. There are famous journalists who regularly write about cybersecurity activities. So they also use this as a specific activity. To be more specific, they write about zero-day vulnerabilities or regular data breaches that keep on happening. So they also keep a track of these records. Earlier, some maybe earlier some cybersecurity researcher had to sit and research some data and give to journalists. Now journalists keep on approaching cybersecurity researchers with some data they have identified in dark web about these kind of spaces. What do you discover there? It's much important, because see, the biggest pitfall of these areas are that anyone could come with basic programming knowledge, buy some malware for some kind of a attack they want to do, because it's very much guided. The hacker who's trying to sell these kind of activities provide a full-fledged guide for all these individuals who really want to come and buy this. It's not necessary that it should be some security researcher, but a lot of curious youngsters are in these kind of platforms. So the easy to use ransomware wanted was a code that was published in Bloomberg. So it's actually a story by a journalist on how he used ransomware as a service to do some kind of a fun activity with his editor. So someone with basic knowledge could really come in these kind of platforms and start using this kind of material. So especially for a red team, who are a part of red team, they can really get deeper knowledge about exploits and malware. Targeted attack, for example, there are a lot of hackers forum, not just this limited to dark web, but also in open web, there are a lot of hackers forum where they keep on targeting infrastructures, targeting individual brands by naming them and not naming them, with their targeting their banking, financial infrastructures. Buying a lot of breach credentials, because we know that breach credentials have been becoming a big problem for organizations where the credentials have been used for credential stuffing and for account takeover. And in most of the cases, it's an unmanaged scenario where employees keep on using these credentials in dark web platform. And to be more specific, in last 6 months, we have been getting a lot of inquiries from big brands where they wanted to actively monitor their breach credentials, because that itself is becoming a popular business these days. Because as people have shifted, from their offices to work from home condition, because employees have been very specifically targeted. So this is some areas where corporates have huge tension. Dark web is a place where you can buy any number of credentials. Every now and then, breach credentials with passwords, IP address keep on floating. Leaked source code, we have been seeing that source codes have been frequently getting published. So to be more specific, you can identify multiple source codes being regularly traded. And last, PII and other leaks. So PII, personal identification information, something like a social security number, because this is a big worry, because while we interact with many of the CISOs, they are more worried about their executive board, because even Aadhaar card or PAN card or social security numbers can be misused for financial usage, and this can be easily, as the new generation banks have popped up, if you have access towards your Aadhaar card and some hacking tools, of course you can even do multiple activities, including getting a loan or something like that. So advisories have been regularly released for this. So this information has been a big issue, because recently we came across a big incident where for a brand which we work with, they have the top executive board there, none of their email IDs have been breached in any third-party breach. We do regular monitoring of those third-party breaches, but it has been breached. Just with those 7 or 8 mail IDs have been single-handedly stored in some paste bins, and this was downloaded by some hacker, and he has been circulating this dump in dark web. So similarly, more incidents which are being unnoticed, it's becoming more popular these days, just due to this COVID situation. Like, people have been working from home, phishing attacks have been happening a lot. So these email IDs that have been collected from internet, these hackers use for phishing attack, and many other different attack vectors have been used. So basically, hunting is more about using open source data. I mean, I'm not just going to explore a lot of sites. I'm just mentioning about few sites that we have been regularly using. We have been actively monitoring using both technology as well as human capability in multiple forums. It has been helping us to gain a lot of knowledge about different attack vectors or different kind of vulnerabilities that has been happening. It's more like a first-hand information, much before this becomes published in some areas or before it's getting patched. This is one kind of space where we could really have better idea about this knowledge. So when it comes to a better, I mean, from the perspective of red teaming, your adversarial input. So this can be a part of it because threat intelligence is much needed at this point of time. It should not be necessary that you really have such kind of a condition, but you can use third-party resources as well as third-party sources to really go deeper into this. These forums should be very much known to us. We need to really know how these forums work, because otherwise there are higher potentials that we can fall into multiple traps, because there are a lot of scams that happen. So comparing to Empire Market, which was one of the, of course, it was quoted as multiple. I mean, it was quoted as a scam market, but still people used to buy. Even cybersecurity companies used to buy data from these kind of platforms. But suddenly the vendors exited from there. The owners exited from there. It was considered as an exit scam, where a lot of money which was escrowed in that network is still there. I should be saying it's millions of dollars has been escrowed in those kind of platforms, which was just a big loss for many of these organizations. So this is something that why I am very specific. Like, let's say, depending on our I mean, like, work environment, or depending on our interest in this kind of activities, so we ourselves classified some kind of forum. So the first one is, it's pretty known, XSS.is. Maybe 2 years or 3 years before, exploit.in was a big forum, but now the attention has been changed to XSS.is. So this is considered to be one of the biggest hackers forum. I mean, like, data trading is comparatively lesser. So if you compare with other forums like raid forums, it's not specifically for data trading, but it's more for vulnerabilities, account takeover, buying exploits, ransomware, because ransomware group has been investing a lot of money in this, because even we could see the last screenshot with the title name unknown has almost invested somewhere around 99 bitcoins as an escrow to this platform. So they do a lot of deep trust in these kind of platforms. So this is one of the major platforms, because we use this platform for a specific activity. Of course, we use it for data gathering as well as I mean, like, monitoring credentials. Apart from that, we use this platform specifically for identifying the kind of exchange that happens. So this can be considered as a private chat area where a lot of murmuring happens related to brand. So you can see much, I mean, like, regular needs, like, let's say, a lot of people coming into these forums and asking for many stuff. Like, let's say, if they want to target some specific brand, they keep on asking about this. There are regular and credible sellers based on their identity. We can really identify that. So similarly, this forum is very active. Every now and then you can see at least 100 to 200 people being active in this forum, selling content. So most of the media caught from these kind of this forum. So it's not just one kind of activity, but as I mentioned, it can be ransomware or a malware or a new POC malware with its toolkit has been published. So this is one platform regularly which publishes these kind of activities. As I mentioned, there is an insider threat. So I'm not sure whether it's visible for you. Maybe after this I can just circulate this presentation. So it's related to bank. So when we assess this data, at least we had identified 10 different posts related to insider threat. So when we identified this insider threat, at least 6 to 7 of those posts are really from a specific industry. It's purely targeting by banking industry. So specifically assessing this data can really give you those kind of insights. So we identified that malware. A malware that has been happening just before the COVID time. A new malware popped up, a banking malware. So the first thing they did was that they published this entire details of the malware in this forum. and once this was published, this was taken up by multiple media. So similarly, the agenda of these vendors working here is to not just to sell their activities, but it's also more to gain popularity from them. So there is a potential chance that you can really go deeper into some kind of scams, because a lot of scamsters are here, or scammers are really selling this kind of content, and we could really see them getting regularly banned from this forum for doing scam, cheating people, or even they take huge amount of money but don't sell these exploits or are say vulnerable. So it's basically, we don't trade these stuffs, but we purely use this as a platform to really understand the present trend that is happening. They have an Onion said they have a Tor platform too, but they have specifically have an open website which we can normally go in. More than that, there are pure Russian forum. All this content, of course, I have used automatic translator to translate it. So otherwise, this comes in Russian, because recently this was considered. They claim to run some kind of research these days, and they mentioned that this is one of the most popular site for selling these kind of stuffs, digital goods, just because of the reason that they have the maximum number of traffic comparing exploit.in or any other platforms. So more specifically, like let's say, even it's you have a space. If you have some demand, of course, anyone can post this. But more than that, it's something that we can use for our research. We can identify the trend, because every now and then we could see ransomware becoming very popular in this platform. Like let's say, if you're really struggling to identify, how to access the data, or like let's say which are the latest ransomware attack, or like let's say which ransomware has been it's purely of threat hunting. Of course, these are the platform from where you could directly access this kind of data and really use it for your threat intel purpose. The other one is 0 Day Today, because this may be also very popular, because I've been following this Twitter account for a long time. He has been publishing this data. But, apart from this, Twitter is one platform where we gather a lot of data, because everyone wants to reach out to a fame. So most of these people, most of the cybersecurity companies, Twitter, they use this as a major platform to really, get very very good tractions from journalists. So this is the biggest way to connect or get connected to this journalist. So this is one platform, 0 Day Today. So this is one platform which is widely used. As I mentioned, security researchers to state-sponsored actors really buy this stuff. But one issue with this forum is that it's very expensive. Of course, there are some free content. Of course, you can try this out. But to be more specifically, it's more with the most valuable or most those threats that can really add some kind of a value. Of course, they sell it for a big price. More specifically, this is a platform. Whenever some researcher or a hacker just identify some kind of a vulnerability, they use this platform to really trade this. More specifically, this is something what they can fix their own price. They can put a price. They can, they can put it like a bidding. Whoever pays the bigger price can buy this from 0 Day Today. And also more than that, of course, you can choose the category. It's well customized. You can easily identify exploits for iOS, Androids. All those kind of categories are there. More specifically, they had a site in OpenWeb, but I think due to law enforcement issues, they had to shut down, and this is very popular in dark web. They have a Twitter account where they regularly post about a new exploit that is being published. So that is how, many of the security researchers really follow that to identify the vulnerability and, to have a deeper look into that. So they have clear clarity on what exactly the vulnerability is. There are some kind of assumptions that this is also a scammer, because this is just a platform where the owner directly sell data, as well as he allows third party to sell data. So there has been allegations that this portal has done a lot of scams. So again, it's up to our assessment capability to really check and identify the issues. More than that, the one good thing with this This kind of forums are that it's very specific, it's purely technical. You don't have to see the drama of a hacker. So like, let's say this, the chances of engagement with a specific vendor is comparatively lesser. And also you'll have better idea about all those vulnerabilities that have been published. So regularly they keep on posting stuff. Like, let's say the screenshot which I've shown, it's from the 1st of October, and in many cases we have seen big organizations, including Apple, coming out on a press release saying that I'm unaware of such a kind of a vulnerability, and someone is trying to really scam this. So these issues are also there. This is something which is really preferred by hackers or like security researchers these days, or this anonymous threat actors who work in the backend. So they try to sell most of the vulnerabilities through this platform, just because that it's very hard to convince a brand to patch their vulnerability. So they feel that this can be bought by a third party. And also there are situations where cybersecurity companies come and buy this kind of vulnerabilities just because of the reason that they can really patch it for their customers, or they can have better idea about these vulnerabilities, so that itself become a threat intel for many of their customers. Even most of the tech stack that has been regularly used by brands are always highlighted, even Citrix or whichever, whatever tech stack you have, it has a regular mention in these kind of platforms. So another one is Macbo. Macbo is some platform where hacked servers are kept for sale. To be more specific, this is something where you need some kind of an invite, but those invite codes are really available, and you need to do a small deposit of $50 to get at least to browse this kind of a platform where. So this is today's status, where you have at least 49,000 hacked servers, or in most cases they are not FTP servers, but it's more like a CRM or these are the main content that come across these forums. But still there are bias, so they have categories. They can be categories based on countries, their turnovers of the brand. So this has become a major alert creating situation where the vendors sell data based on clients' popularity, or like, let's say, based on brands or organizations' popularity. They keep on pushing these their sales strategies purely become a pure sales strategies than more of a security research purpose. So basically this is how they sell. They show what exactly it is. Also they show the if it's a website, they show the popularity of a website. They show the Alexa ranking or a Google ranking of that website. So they provide screenshots. In some cases, they provide screenshots of CMS panels or SQL servers or hosting panels, whatever they are publishing. So this is also very popular, and this is comparatively newer forum. This is comparatively very easier for access, because I assume the operators behind all these activities, they have some kind of a agenda to really make these things so simple. So maybe when you come to the next slide, you will understand that a new forum which has increased its popularity has been creating filters through which you could really filter many of your choices. So similarly, the operational strategy is to make these kind of forums more simple. So recently I read a report that the lack of jobs or unemployment has been creating a lot of crime. So cyber crimes have been increasing. The hacking, or like, let's say, cracking softwares, malware attacks, or like, let's say, trying to snoop into someone's computer. So this kind of attacks have been regularly increasing, or like, let's say, the research says that it's just due to the unemployment. People are using these kind of forums to acquire access or third-party access to these kind of FTP servers or SQL servers, and try to extract data from that. So that should be one intention of these kind of threat actors, or whatever you call vendors, exactly the operators behind this platform, to make it so simple. Of course, in some extent they use bitcoins to buy this, and to an extent they, in some cases, they have PayPal access to. So Bitcoin was a roadblock for many people, but now it's also very much popular, where even in India now we have Bitcoin being legalized. So this is something that has become so popular to, or it's just like a supermarket where you have been, you can go and really buy these kind of stuffs. You don't need to be an expert, or you need to not be a security researcher, or anyone with a basic computer knowledge. Of course, they can really do all these things. And when you look back into those forums like XSS.is, of course, they give some kind of a very deeper guidance. So like, let's say if someone wants to attack a third party individual, of course they give a lot of guidance. So these are the vectors, of course, that always get ignored. So apart from a existing threat actor, a threat actor can really pop up suddenly with all these kind of illegitimate things that happens in these kind of platforms. So now I go to another forum. So I have purposefully skipped a lot of stuff that would be known to you, like exploit.in have been skipped. And in last 2-3 months, a lot of dark web portals have been really taken down. So one of the most popular dark web portal was Real Deal Market. So this was formed in 2015, but 2 years before this portal was taken down. This was considered to be the heaven of this kind of hacked goods or digital trading that was happening in dark web portal. After that, multiple portals came in, but this keeps on happening. Many were scammers, but if you call, the credibility lies between 2-3 forums, like as I mentioned, Exploit or XSS.is, or to be more specific, it can be 0day.today. It's a very popular forum. And also RAID forums are becoming very popular, because that is some space where you could even buy a data breach with just a PayPal account, and you have to just spend somewhere below $10 where you could buy this. So the scope of identifying data from or threat intelligence from these areas are so high, because every line can be some kind of useful for you. Something can be, of course, a scam, but to be more specific, I always assume that this can create some kind of a learning, or this can really increase your scope of threat vulnerability, or like a vulnerability discovery from dark web space. So most of us know, because these things get popular just because it get published in a dark web portal, and that itself become a big news. And a recent trend is that many organizations have been signing up for dark web monitoring, starting from the issues of credential stuffing, till the issues of leaked code in different repositories. So these all activities come under a digital risk monitor. So to be more specifically, these are some kind of areas where you could use some kind of open source tool. Some open source scripts are there where you could specifically target and crawl content from dark web portals, and really use keywords for searching that. And some community tools are there, I assume. So Cirrus Shop is something that is very popular. That's comparatively newer. So this is a well-organized crime structure. It has a lot of space. So primarily they target banking infrastructures. It's not specifically infrastructure, but traded or credit cards to start with, but to server logs, CRM, CMS, shells. And when it comes to specific CRMs, it can be different. Of course, they have different. Like with CMS, they have WordPress, and multiple categories are there. They trade it with the entire technical details, and to an extent, in some you could even find the screenshots of the takeover. And they also allow third-party vendors to sell their data. So this is something what we have prioritized in last few weeks to keep a watch on these platforms, because this is specifically trading even in specifically Indian data. So when I looked, I had identified there are 30 to 40 Indian cPanel data that has been traded in last 1 week. To be more specific, the price is comparatively lesser. They just sell it from $4. To be more specific, they have all the details of all the tech stack related to the specific domain what they are working on, and also external links and internal links. All those kind of stuffs have been published, and specifically they publish a screenshot to ensure that this stuff is legitimate. So this is comparatively shocking for us. So basically, this is some kind of activity that has been happening in the backend since some time. Maybe again, as I mentioned, it's becoming more simple. So anyone could just get the link. It's not even in dark web, but Still, it's accessible by the open normal web browsers. You don't need to have a Tor browser to access this. Anyone could access with, and you don't even need an invite to get an account. You just need a Bitcoin account. You can start buying stuff from this. So basically, that's an insecure way. Like, let's say that's a bit scary too. They do not want to, the traders or the operators behind this do not want to limit their specific activity to this area. So that they want to make it very popular. Trust, of course, this is a matter of trust. So this is something what I have shown is some kind of an Excel-based exploit. So this was collected by a dark web researcher called Shadow Intelligence. This is an exploit to really, exploit the Microsoft Excel platform. It's like they say that it's from the 2009. It's the latest vulnerability. But when we looked into this, when we did a more of a research, we identified that this person was charging somewhere around 15 Bitcoin. So basically, I don't assume that someone would have bought this. So this is some area where we identify a lot of scammers. So basically, what we do, we go a bit deeper into this, assess these vendors, whether their claim can be legitimate. So it's based on the reaction score. This is specifically from access.is forum, but every forum has their own ratings. So similarly, the number of messages, the number of transaction, and the amount, whether they have some kind of a escrow that would have they made. So based on this, so the moment an account with good rating posts some kind of a content, we have to believe that there is something that is going to happen. So those are some high classified threats. That's how we classify it. So it's purely based on the threat actor. Again, what we in this forum, we can call them as vendor. So basically, this is how they operate in these forums. But even though we say that threat actors are there, or let's say they have some credibility, there is highly possible that if you do some kind of a trading with them, they can really cheat you. This has been happening since a lot of time. Though few platforms are really missed out. Or let's say I have never highlighted this just because in Discord servers we could identify forums that regularly trade this kind of stuff, and also there are regular forums in Telegram group. Telegram group has been becoming a major challenge for many of the security teams and security operations. We specifically know that Telegram monitoring platforms have been regularly used by brands to ensure that they have a clear vision into this kind of platform. So then also it's not fully automated, but of course you need a lot of manual intervention to identify threat from there. But there are dedicated groups and channels which keep on pushing this kind of contents. It's not just vulnerabilities alone, but it's also data breaches. The moment a data breach happens, the data pops up there. So these are the platforms. So these are the non-conventional platforms which that has to come into a priority, because a lot of murmurs or chit chats keep on happening in these platforms. Again, you can see the demand to be more specific with, let's say, specifically to brands. So when we search for, when we do some kind of a monitoring for our customers, we really know that in Hackers Forum, devoid of language, it happens in Chinese, it happens in Russian, it happens in Korean, and it happens in Latin. So regularly we could identify these hackers keeping a track on even Indian brands. Let's say, discussing about getting access to these kind of specific brands, about ransomwares, about getting shell access or SSH access to these kind of areas. So these are the multiple areas where we have to keep a watch, because when it comes to a more deeper approach, of course, red teaming focus a lot into multiple aspects of cybersecurity. The process is big. So basically, it's focused on technology, it's focused on people, it's purely focused on the physical infrastructure. You need to use a lot of social engineering attack vectors. You need to do phishing simulations, and all these activities are there. So to be more specific, this is one area. This dark web or deep web space. It's one area which has some kind of a news every day. it is something through which you could really understand the different trends in these three areas. Like, let's say, when it comes to technology, networks, or the network infrastructure, or the application infrastructure, you will can find a lot of information related to that being popped up, including the vulnerabilities, as I mentioned. When it comes to people, it's like a lot of PIIs or credentials, or all these activities can be identified in these platforms which are being regularly traded. And when it comes to be more specific with physical, of course, I mean, like perimeter, I assume that perimeter security is a part of your physical assessments. I mean, social engineering attack vectors, or specific phishing kits. So I mean, so these are the few instances that are very popular in this kind of platforms. Just going to these forums, you can just, I mean, search there. They have some kind of a search where you could just search this common keywords like malware or exploit or vulnerability or phishing. To be, if you are working with banking infrastructures, of course, banking malware or banking Trojan, or to be more specifically with POC Trojans, or ATM, I mean, some kind of exploits for ATMs or Trojans or malwares, or whatever you need, you could find a lot of informations, both academically as well as related to pure vulnerabilities. So this is something that assume, I mean, like everyone should keep in mind, because engaging with these kind of activities, of course, that's it has its own limitations. So we never entertain that. We never advise anyone to really engage with this, even though I mean, there are potential possibilities that we have to chat with these people, but still, we never engage anyone to really trade anything with them, because everyone can be a scammer, because we have a lot of experience, a lot of past learnings are there, where I mean, a lot of dark web portals get do or, like, let's say, dark web portal regularly getting I mean, shut down. An exit camp really happens in the back end. So this is something that that's a big worry for us. I mean, we put a lot of money into the research. We put a lot of money into these kind of activities, but still, it get. I mean, it get. I mean, a new platform can pop up anytime, and an existing platform can get shut down, because we don't know whether this access.is or MacBo or Series Straw will be there, because few months before, there was another fresh stuff. So this is not related to any thing what you guys do, but this is something related to identifying breached credit cards. So there was a portal called Fresh Stuff. So most of the cybersecurity companies which are into this space of this kind of monitoring and gathering threat intelligence from these spaces has been investing a lot of time in these platforms. But one fine morning, this got shut down. Of course, there was a massive takedown. It can be a law enforcement takedown. So all the, I mean, like that is a big thing. So they stopped our identification of some credit cards or debit cards that were regularly stored in this platform. So similarly, there's I mean, like potential possibilities that those potential sites which I mentioned can also, I mean, like just exit or just get shut down like that. But let's say, most of the people work with us use Twitter or these kind of platforms, and also subscribing to blogs of multiple, I mean, like, let's say, I mean, cybersecurity companies enables us with more information. I would say that you should not just subscribe to one platform. You can subscribe to multiple blogs or multiple research journals where these kind of researches are comparatively done. And Twitter is one platform, because there are dedicated researchers who want to really post all these kind of activities or research reports regularly on Twitter platform. And also there are dedicated cybersecurity researchers as well as journalists whom we can really follow to gather more intelligence. So to summarize, I would say this is something which you could really use for understanding threat actors, because from our 2 years past experience, we have created a big directory of threat actors. So now we know that if a specific threat actor has been mentioned, even if it's not being in a list published by CERT, we know that there are threat actors that are not even properly monitored in the conventional areas. So there is a specific threat actor called Spectre. So So he really trades with a lot of state-sponsored data. So similarly, he is not not mentioned in many of the CERT documents. So similarly, there are a lot of threat actors you could identify. You yourself could make a dictionary or a directory or whatever you call it, with the patterns and their motives, whatever you understand, because those credible, I mean, like those threat actors or vendors or profiles with good rating would have some kind of an information which you could really use at some usage. And the vulnerability landscape, it keeps on shifting. So you could see the landscape, you could see the industry. It shifts from the huge multi-billion corporates to an individual where you have to pay $15 for a ransomware attack. So every these kind of I mean, like attack vectors or more, with, like, let's say the biggest landscape, not just one ransomware but multiple attack landscape can be identified, or multiple vulnerability landscape can be identified. All these groups have their own drawbacks, or all these platforms has their own drawbacks, but still these can be wisely used for identifying such kind of vulnerability. Then maximize the use of ONSINT tools, because you can gather a lot of data, and this data, I mean, like, it can be giving some kind of a some kind of a research input for you, because most of us know that the people who are passionately working on cybersecurity depends on a lot of research inputs. So basically, using these tools can really help in gathering a lot of data from these spaces. More about gathering maximum intelligence. So when we give reports to organizations, threat intelligence report based on dark web and deep web platforms. So we also relate to the normal conventional threat intelligence report many of the organizations publish on. But this comes as a specific report. Maybe if in your audits, of course, you can have a single page report on what is their exact footprint on deeper platforms, because that really matters. An organization with a huge credential breach, or like a huge exposure on dark web, can be considered vulnerable. So there are multiple parameters what they use to really do with this exposed credentials, because this can be used for credential stuffing, as mentioned. This can be used for regular phishing attempt. So maximum footprint, what you gather about an individual from dark web space or a deep web space, can be used to actively enable a phishing attempt with understanding more deeper about a target. So as we know, the person on the other side is comparatively, like, let's say the person on the other side is actively innovating on some kind of a cyber crime. So basically, he will be using, or he or she, or whoever it is, will be using these kind of informations to their maximum use. So basically, I would feel that you need to gather maximum intelligence wherever you gather good. So let's say dark web should be the other space for red teams to really gather some kind of an intelligence about a total footprint of the organization or the branch which you're working for. So basically, with that, I would really like to take a closure of this.